products. We are a team joined by passion to build brands. We take our clients' businesses to new heights and give our people reasons to watch and listen. We turn ordinary products to extraordinary ones. Visit us today on our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are not just promoting brands, we are building a community of customers. We do sell products like smart TVs, mattresses, routers, handbags, and more. We do have entertainment programs, music, news, drama, politics, religion, and timely implement strategies. We ensure constant growth of your needs in a digital world. We are one who work in vision to transform the future of media and businesses. We are Germano Media and Product. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get notifications anytime we upload a new video. Welcome to Germano Media and Products. We are a team joined by passion to build brands. We take our clients' businesses to new heights and give our people reasons to watch and listen. We turn ordinary products to extraordinary ones. Visit us today on our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are not just promoting brands, we are building a community of customers. We do sell products like smart TVs, mattresses, routers, handbags, and more. We do have entertainment programs, music, news, drama, politics, religion, and timely implement strategies. We ensure constant growth of your needs in a digital world. We are one who work in vision to transform the future of media and...
I want to say that the judge who did this is not an ignorant person. Nekut ne joy bi dafa ñaka xam-xam. Xam na ko, xam na lu mo def. Xam na luwa bi, waaye dafa def ne ma tay na la tej until the 5th of January. The do ci mun dara. You big mouth nga tej sa gemeñ bi. That is all. And he is doing so to satisfy Adam Barrow and his cohorts. We've seen the TRRC report, how it castigated the judiciary when the judiciary was used by the regime to suppress Gambians. We are now seeing again the judiciary being used by the Barrow administration to suppress a political opponent. We have seen in the TRRC report how the security forces were used to really trample on political opponents. We are seeing again being repeated again. Now one asks yourself, what was the never again mantra? What is it for? Why was the need to really have conducted this investigation by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission if the very government that commissioned such an investigation can now turn around and doing exactly what the former regime was doing? We do not have any hope for this country. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to assure all of you that in fact what is happening is just an abuse of the judicial process. What is happening is that the judiciary, the police are conniving with Adam Barrow because they know that local government elections are coming, they are losing ground, so this is a way to intimidate people. We will never be intimidated. We will never be intimidated. We'll make sure that the councils that we have, we retain them, and also make sure that the councils that we are aspiring to gain, you do not reach them. We will, and that way, we will definitely take the country, and we are prepared to take the country. If you mean taking the country, meaning taking the government, well, that is your interpretation. When somebody says, "Mga banko nga lockdown," a banko lockdown, does that mean we're taking the government? But I'll give you the affidavits of somebody who calls himself Lamin Cham. I don't know what type of person he is. He swears by false affidavit because Mr. Sabally never used the word government. He said banko. How many times have people heard, Lawyer Dabo, I'm singing, Lawyer Dabo Bankota? Why have they thought that is treason? They're pretending to be what I'm not. Why have they not said that is treason? But because Mr. Sabally is a thorn in their flesh, because Mr. Sabally doesn't mince words, He says exactly as it is. That is why they think that this is a way to silence him. And to silence him, they have to call in aid the judiciary to help them in this heinous, in this shameful act, because they know that they cannot. In fact, in their affidavit, they said that because we cannot keep him for more than 72 hours, therefore lock him for us. That any sensible judge who is not doing mad will say, no, this is what the Constitution says. We are not going to partner with you. In fact, what we expect is that if you want to do this, we expect Mr. Sabally to come under Section 37 of the Constitution so that I can order for his release. But I will not perpetuate his detention, because that will be me, a judge, asking you to infringe the Constitution. It's shameful. It's really shameful. And our country have not bargained for this. These are not the lessons we learned from the TRRC. The lessons we learned from the TRRC is that we should be measured. We should be protective of the laws of this country. We should be protective of the of the citizens of this country, unless they commit an offense. If you suspect somebody has committed an offense, and then you go to court, without any charge, you go to court and say detain him, and the court readily grants that. Really, I am ashamed that our judiciary is starting to behave or some of the judges in our judiciary starting to behave the way they were behaving in Yahya Jammeh's time. It's not a good omen. Now, if I feel that Mr. Wali has committed sedition and I don't want to make my investigation, what do? I go to court and say, please detain him further because I want to do my investigations. Deprive him of his personal liberty. That is the trend they want to set in this country, and it is a trend that we cannot accept, and we must not accept. Gambians must know that Solo Sanden died to make sure that in this country, tyranny does not rear its head. Gambians went to the polls on the 1st of December to elect Adama Barrow in order to bring an end to dictatorship in this country. But alas, I think Mr. Barrow is right. The dictator is ourselves. We are the dictators. The dictator is us. And Barrow's gradual ascendancy to dictatorship is being aided by the police, is being aided by the judiciary. And this is something that we cannot accept, and we must not accept. I call on the Human Rights Commission of the Gambia to join with the United Democratic Party to bring an end to this horrible state of affairs. I appeal to all NGOs that are concerned with human rights activities to team up with us, because this is not in Sabally. This is against our fundamental laws of the country. And Sabally just happen to be, the person in the center of it. It could have been any of us. So I appeal to all to join us, that the decadence into which it has gradually sliding to is abated. Otherwise, this country will be sorry for itself. See, I think Mr. Tao has stated in his opening remark that this is a season of peace. Absolutely. This is a season of peace. Christ came to redeem humanity from disaster. And there cannot be a greater disaster than denying people of their fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution. In this season, one should behave in ways that promote peace. One should make statements in ways that promote peace. But I want to conclude to say that the greatest threat to peace and stability is injustice. That is the greatest threat. Where you have injustice, it always provides a recipe for instability. And this country of ours, where we have said in one national anthem, let justice guide our actions, it must be so. These just cannot be incantations in our national anthem. we must also live by it, abide by it, practice it. In that way, we are sure that we are building a just society, a society that will be free from violence. When you push me to the wall, I would have no cause, no recourse other than to push back. And that is not good. I have said it over and over, that the peace and stability of the country is the responsibility of every one of us. Everyone, every Gambian, and every person resident in the Gambia has a responsibility to ensure that the stability of this country is maintained. But there is the greater responsibility is on government. If you start misusing your powers, if you start misusing your laws to suppress people, their fundamental freedoms, to perpetuate injustice, to carry injustice to people, if they cannot find justice in the courts, where you should go for justice. If they cannot find justice there, I'm sure it's going to lead to something, and nobody wants that for this country. So, President Barrow, Inspector General of Police, Mr. Sanya, and all your security forces, please, let us conduct the affairs of this nation in a way that will promote peace. Let us promote and act in ways that will certainly ensure that this country is stable. This is what we all want. We do not want any Gambian to leave this country to go as refugees anywhere. We are receiving refugees. We don't want to be refugees in any country, and we shouldn't do anything that will make any of us refugees in any country. Gentlemen of the press, this is what I have to tell you, that is an absolute infringement, an absolute violation of Mr. Sabally's rights. The only thing is that they have contrived long ago that we must silence him. We must silence Ibrahim Adiba. You remember when Ibrahim Adiba was taken away? On spurious allegations of insulting the president. For saying that Obama futu Mabatijan, that is true. You might have futu tantity. If I say Obama futu Mobat, that is absolutely true. That is not insulting anybody. But those people who do not know, they don't understand Mandinka language. They are when to say that is an insult to the president. The president was not insulted. It's just a statement of fact. A statement of fact. Because if Ibrahim Adiba says, Obama futu Hussein Dabote, that is true. Ntele tarakasola fobi mol sita, so ntele ba futu wale akena dol sita, for dol sita masal. That is absolute true. That is absolute true. Wato, anna haklotu. Let me say this in Mandinka because you are reporting, so you will not. Those who cannot read, do not understand English, will not be able to understand what we are saying. Press molu, journalist olu, nga kontam banken, ko spokesperson ya fo nyame, nga le bismillah janto, UDP la manja biro to janto na nim press conference wala. Ado dalilo me ya nga kiro ki janto, wala Mr. Sabally la ko wala mo. Be nga lon ka voko, fenkelung ngamira aram salung arabalung talanan watu wala long ya muta en fan danga tu na ofisole to abe salola jeto data la ko kai mbatu jeto bare ya muta eko ya muta munela ani tiktokers nyole sita e diamute ay mune fala ko moko no ako nyim banko mba lockdown lale wala nyim banko mba soron lale ba soron jumal amrama baro so that ate bono la janto ay tabase ka nata ta jeto ba mo le tara jeto mel ba wurela nata ta fuladu am la bunya me so la ta so jeto nim president mo soto la banko ka fo banko nyima busi la ba Mr. Sabally yole fo ko banko nyim ba soron nale adu fem man ka kan moy salon ka ko banko soron ni man sa kunda taw man ka kilinte kaw kambe banko soron noni ni mo kunta la ku benta so wala nyata kala be Mr. Sabally mutala bar même fam ya ko dimina wara ako jakalo wara wala mo ifali yaje ko nyinde 72 hours nim man ta samba no la court woto ngata kiti bunto ala nyanto na fo kiti bunga ya ala nyanto tinya ni mo la nyanto tinya ni banko ka ike bor me do la kata court kita kiti bunga do under section 37 of the constitution ya fo ko mansa fele wala kar fele abe nyanto nya bat nya kan bay tere ngna e ka fo police wala ko al kar la nyanto tinya ye ma hana fo ko arabu alena ma ni monde kata public holiday Tuesday man ke public holiday bari ma fa ko alna fo hani bela ma nyanto tinala dalila kante fanyum kuma kuntan doron wo mumiral ku balati gambian ko liya aliaje al sisam sanyi nako mansa kunda be menke kan wolo mu abe jikore tamani ka ba dole londi kan ka fa ko si boy no mo kan ne doron ye muta de ta ko ya fa ko ko dukara soronje ya fa ko te luatinya adi jojo me nyinge nya manka ka fa maluwa londe ay luwa londe ada manka ka fa filita da man fili akola ko ntele ya ke adiata ntele moda kuno la jeto wala ntele nga ke adiata ntele amanka la lon tayata bare be nga jele TRRC la report nga menji jeto courthouse judiciary jojo ya jame use nyame ngela condemnation jela mami ran judiciary sina son wala judiciary me yalon ka foko abe pare ka la head me yalon ka foko ebe arrangement keka pour kaje yama cases nyol doli se prosecute no jan nyame kadi ko tinyarol mel kata ya jamera jamano ko wo judiciary killings na son ko keta tay keka jorangti ka mo la nyanto ka busila dalila kante way ko ni momoy luatinya wallahi inyantale tay la luanya tilula adu mo mafako misa Sabally manyana prosecute la natra ka fako ay luatinya mo fo bari ko ibe menke ka wala ni luwa manta be ngajele DRC men for security forces la kuoto yeke jorangti nyame nyim banko kan ka Gambia dingil ke halaki kad femman tambi nyinna yemota yasindullah kilinto nimme lafta jala il faut mo ko sonta la yaaje ala bonda la dimbal ko atala badingil jala femman tambi mo halako la tambi ka tambi wona police olu e ko be yaaji ko be adama barole fasala faniya kam police olu e ko adama baro kadu mo Sabally men fala ka ko ni local government election men binala ten be constitution bele tada wala mo men ba fala ko alanga tanga karto ni alanga tanga nyinka wala ba fala ko be masakunda boy la lemba sembola bang nimme ya haklo soto al balo na ka ko mu manka to nyati mu meto ban ni mu ko la men tafawnu e ko la ko mo Sabally Ibrahima Diba ani modol nyata men e ko beden la nyi banko kan MC Cham e ko beden la nyi banko kan na jala ya Ibrahima Diba ku kuntang me yalo ko ya mutanu ya samba ko Ibrahima Diba fa ko arba baro ba ma fudu mo bat ni Gambia ko but wa mun nendir ladi nako adama baro le ba fudu Usain da bate Usain saf ka internet ne o nako Usain da wala ba fudu ta mo ko tem bate o tay o mari ne para mof ani ka ko fo dum adama baro le ba fudu ta mo tima aliado kuku tanga ya samba Sabally men fo me yaram ka be audio to man ka kam moy la be ya moy ako banko ni mbar lockdown la le am banko ni of course a lockdown la le fo mo bu ka moy ka ko this is no go area for opposition this is no go area for NPP fo bu ka ko fo man ka lockdown le tibam fo man ka lockdown le tibam bari police olu ibe use kam anam ajila ko le wayin disappoint bakat lawyer lo ay luwa karande ayala bake dole nyanta nyinkela ya ko no maloni bari tay luwa lo e fa yamen kala affidavit fangtay ko nalo ne ko nim ko menyum fra mbed luwani be luwati nyala le sa en court house du kare ma koy mo luwani ngati nya bara sikete la kanka there is nothing constitutional mayor court empower kafoko mola nyanto e nyanta kafla mansa kunda mala kotinya nyinde ni e mari charge offense la ye not court e apply ta for bail court can integrate la bail yes go understand wo go understand kafoko wo sembo bela le yo yake bilali lo men kama fa sahata fa man sa muku ko tanede bar wo sadra kafoko sembo bar ni assemble ta jojo nyinda. She has no authority on the Constitution. Bafala, in fact, judges not be. Nimmeye Amina Sahola Kito Do, Karang, Fenke Juf. There's some, I mean, Juf control yeah. Wala judgment. Nimmeye Karang. Ibalo na kaf konya kilo menke tilimbalia lomo. Ka loi to sembetala ka fa ko practice direction wala be constitution overrule vraiment ka fa ko the law national assembly legislation nani loi mantanyola o loi ni wo kaburkale for KMC ni attorney general for loi national assembly loi men fenka for supreme ko ka fa ko loi ne in constitution ni manyota so ye burka so practice direction any joy rely on practice direction because you deprive people of their fundamental rights. You have not, I don't think you are doing it out of ignorance. You are just doing it because you have been dictated to do so. Because you want to really provide comfort for Adama Barrow. You want to really provide comfort for NPP and his cohort. That is why this judge behaved this way. Not that she doesn't know the law. She just says, ma tay, na ko def. Lima doon wax suma mbokk yi mooy li fi jotaay bi tey lu ko waral mooy affaire Momodou Sabally looloo ko waral. Gis nañ ne alarba la ko police yi téye bu njëkk a dem ko ne rek ñëwal ñu waxtaan pour moo naka di jàppa moo tas pour julli tisbaar ñu ne ko dañ la arrest ñu yóbbu ko lan lañ ko arresté ñu ne dafa wax ne dañoo jël réew mi te naka la ñoo jëlee réew mi wax na ko tiktokers yi mu ne na ngeen génn ngeen dem ut carte da ngeen génn ngeen dem uti ñu ñoo bokk ci UDP ndax UDP mun a delloo office Fodé Danjo Rohey Malick Lowe Talib waaye nit yi liggéey bu rafet ñi liñ def mu ne looloo tax maa leen di sant pour na ngeen génn mu ne dinañ lockdown réew mi te lockdown réew mi mooy ne dinañ li fi ne dinañ téye fu nekk ci réew mi boo xam ne Adama Barrow du fa mun a dem su fa demee gàcce rek la faa jël xanaa duñ dee dégg fii ñu wax ne ci jamono jooju ne foo ñuy seen no go era of opposition duñ dee dégg ñuy wax ne Badbu is no go area for this and that loolu la nga fi dee dégg so lockdown mooy the whole country will be a no go area for Adama Barrow except the State House lu moo def State House su génnee dem Mankamankounda sax dafa jëlee gàcce that is what loolu la Momodou Sabally di wax ne waaye li soosee dee wax ne ku siyaatiiti ñoolu ñi nga xam ne dañoo jël mbir def ko out of proportion for their own selfish interest ñu li fi ne lii coup d'état la ci coup d'état bi la bokk waaye ngeen xam ne yéen a gën a xam ne lii amul benn du coup d'état kenn du wax ne damay def coup d'état ba pare ngay wax ne nañ leen toppal luwa kuy def loolu waaye lii nag liñ planoon la bu yàgga ñoom NPP seen forum yi dégg nañ leen ñu ne Momodou Sabally foo ñu dañ ko noppiloo fii nañ ko def mu noppi MC Thiam Ibrahima Diba foo ñu fexe daal ñii ñu noppi suñ defut loolu ñun duñ fi am jàmm fii gis ngeen Ibrahima Diba fi mu ne kenn de am sewut keneen ñu dóobu ko kii Momodou Sabally ne mbe banko taala mbe banko lockdown la ñu ne loolu fusil la waaye li ma ci gën a lifin mooy suñu loi bu mag bi constitution bi cër bi mu jox nit mooy ne su fekkee am na nit may na government or any other part bugga sa cër boobu bugga koo jël amee da nga yaakaar ne daf ko bugg a jël mbaate mu ngee def ay mu ngi koo jël da nga war a dem ci court waa court bi ne na ko stop sa cër bi nga am nga exercise ko waaye ngay dem ci court di ko wax ne diw de lii mooy cëram lii la ko luwaa jox waaye dama bugga nga aaye ko ma ngi ko soog a dégg nga dem court ne diw sangam lii droit bi lii la ko jox waaye dama bugga yow court bi nga aaye ko mu ngi soog a am Gambia fii te lu waa jooj bi ko def nekkul ne dafa ñàkk xam-xam di am na xam-xam parce que kuy joytul ne suma cër den ko bugg a jël ci ñooñ la dee daw high court pour mu gis ne aar na ko pour mu gis ne loi dox na according to the constitution waaye dafa def yëfi maa tey maa am doole bi ñëw nañ dama koo def ci holiday time la kenn du ci mun dara court baa ngi tëj soo maa tey naa ko def waaye nag tur bu yàqu bi nag dégga du naka police de du police la ñoo yaa seen tur in fact du even nekk Adama xëy na dinañ ne Adama Barrow ak police ñoom ñoo doon lifi seen loxoom ci suuf waaye moom jooj bi na dem down in the history of this country ne moom moo def lii wax nguur ne kii de dégga lii la cëram waaye nag jox naa la doole nga yaxat cër boobu loolu na dem down in the history te goma ne loolu baax na ci moom internationally ak in the eyes of human rights defenders and human rights advocates maa ngi appeal nag to the National Human Rights Commission maa ngi appeal to NGOs yi nga xam ne seen jéego mooy seen taxawaay mooy ne protect rights of the people képp koo xam ne yow bugga nga ne loi nekk ci réew mi nit yi seen cër seen rights ñu protect ko ma ngi leen di wax ñëpp ñu bokk ak UDP yëfi ju ñaaw bi nga xam ne moo door nii ñu génne ko parce que doo def maatee rek jël nit taaj ko benn place ne yow yaa am doole pour def loolu in the first place amul benn doole benn luwaa joxut ko challenge naa ko ba challenge na any judge boo wax ne dama wax ne luwaa bi moo ko jox lii soo ne practice direction loolu def di loi chief justice toog rek defi National Assembly passe fi ay loi Supreme Court ne loi yooyu méngut ak suñu constitution bi so fundamental human rights boo xam ne is entrenched is guaranteed so a flimsy practice direction moom moo war a overrule loolu léegi gàcce la pour Gambia waaye nag jaakaar naa ne dinañ doon jàng ci TRRC li wax ci judiciary bi ci jamono Yahya Jammeh li wax ci security force ci jamono Yahya Jammeh yaakaaroon naa ne képp koo xam ne yaa ngi ci security forces yi képp koo xam ne yaa ngi ci néegi attekaay bi di nga bàyyi sa xel ci loolu ne gis nañ ne day leen use on pour nit yi di deprive leen of their freedoms ñi nga xam ne ñoo def lii su fekkee woon ne seen mbokk leen téye woon ñoom ñoo fee nekk di juubu di wax ne lii àndut ak yoon waaye nag Mr. Tall wax naa ne te jamono bii nekk ni Christmas jamono jàmm la Jesus Christ dafa ñëw according to Christian doctrine dafa ñëw pour doomi aadama pour saxal jàmm ci àddina pour gis ne doomi aadama cëram li ko yàlla jox loolu mu exercise ko te bokk na ci freedom ba nga joore sa bopp bokk na ci nga diine bi nga bokk bugga nga bokk ci bokk na ci bokk na ci ne duñ la lifin mukk duñ la atteel lépp mukk te dégguñu la looloo tax even balaa even Milton ci Paradise Lost ñu ngee lifin ñu ne Adama Yàlla ne du ko punish fa mu wax ko ne lu tax nga def lii waaye yow nga just jël nit punish ko déglu loo ko ba pare nga def ci sa kayit bii ne absent mel na ne danga ko joxoon danga ko saafoon te saafuñ ko wax ne absent to ku read li fi da ngaa fa ne oh Mr Sabally nag xama lu ne lu tax demul waaye saafuñ ko ñu def ko rek ci gannaawam dan ma ko waxee di ci jamono bi jamono jàmm la jàmm nag léegi ñun ñëpp suñ ragal la suñ responsabilité la pour def loo xam ne dafa saxal jàmm ci réew mi waaye nag nit nag boo ko def injustice nag mooy nooni jàmm injustice nooni jàmm la te li mu bëgg ci réew mi mooy let justice guide our actions towards the common good loolu lañ bëgg maa ngi leen di gërëm yéen pressmen yi di leen sant wa salaam sorry Mr Tall waxoon na ne naa leen jox statement but def ma benn written statement I just doing this on top of my head waaye nag seen affidavit bi ak li ci transcribe naa leen ko jox xam naa ne ñu nekk ci audio yi every media house am na ko I'm sure of that tiktokers yi every media house am nañ ko so ñoom liñ transcribe ngeen seet loolu ngeen déglu li ngeen déglu Momodou Sabally li mu wax li ngeen gis ne even tense transcription bi was false it's not correct ñu jël ci benn lifin rek you see the whole all these three pages benn sentence rek lañ ci dem we are going to do massive aggressive campaign we are going to retrieve government from Adama Barrow that is a lie he said we are going to retrieve country the banko letada he never said we are going to retrieve government it's a lie waaye benn sentence boobu lañ jël from all these three pages so we'll give it to you as also as seen phony affidavit bi nañ leen ko jox gentlemen of them I thank you very much ci seen jotaay
Thank you very much, Secretary General and the
Yes,
party leader. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the party leader has an additional engagement, so we can only take very few questions. But before that, let me recognize the presence of the Deputy Secretary General and Party Leader, who has joined the press briefing. So kindly come up and to recognize the presence of the members of the National Assembly.
No, more than one copy. It's more than one copy. It's more than one copy.
Please indicate your name and the media house you represent.
Sorry.
We are not hearing you.
So I said, Sabally asking us after government identification so what is your take on that? Considering the fact that this video was made like a week before the arrest was.
Sorry.
The question is, the arrest came a few hours before, after the announcement of attempted coup, when the TikTokers visited Mr. Sabally, I think last week, well before this. Are there any connections?
Well, there's absolutely no connections. That is the flimsy excuse that the government is employing to detain him. Look, if I want to talk about overthrowing the government, I don't do it in the public, talk with the people in that way. It will be done in complete secret. if I'm plotting for overthrow of a government, and Mr. Sabally is intelligent enough, if he's into overthrowing, it will not. Those are not the people that he will talk to on those type of issues.
Yes, sir. Cruz.
Yeah.
And also, Mungena like in any of our languages, Mandinka Wolof or English.
My name is Yan Rajao from West Australia. My question is, we understand that the agent was filed an expert application seeking extension of Mr. Momodou beyond the mandatory 72 hours as prescribed by the 1997 Constitution of the Ghana. As a legal expert, party leader of the United Democratic Party, who do you think the judiciary has acted within the confinement of the law, continue to deliver Mr. Sabally, even though he was not charged by the police?
Thank you. That is what is central in this press briefing. In the first place, depriving a person of his constitutional right, ex parte, I've never heard of it. You ought to have jurisdiction conferred on you by the Constitution or other law. And in fact, if any law confers jurisdiction of a court to deprive a person of his liberty who has not been charged for an offense, that law would be inconsistent with the Constitution. And I think also it's an abuse of the process by the Attorney General to have filed an ex parte motion. If they were sure of what they were doing, they should have filed a summons on notice. And again, I fault the judge. When the fundamental rights of an individual is an issue, and it comes to before you ex parte, the right thing for her to do was to order that, no, I will not hear this application ex parte, serve the other party. That is what is in keeping with practice. That is what is in keeping with the thinking of people who are protective of the fundamental rights of citizens of this country. But if you do not care about the fundamental rights and liberties of any of the citizens of this country, you will go on, file an ex parte motion, and then give it to whatever judge, and then for the judge to endorse your violation, your continued violation of the Constitution. It's as simple as that. There's nothing that can cure an illegality. It is illegal. So there's nothing that can cure that illegality. Because from the word go, it was wrong. So it is not this judicial gymnastics that will really give validity to Mr. Sabally's continued detention. Because whatever you do, whatever practice that you rely on is inconsistent with the Constitution. So I think this is what about then, but I think I want to leave those issues for Mr. Fati to deal with. But I have no doubt in my mind that is an abuse of the judicial process. And we all know, the Attorney General knows what an abuse of judicial process is, to irritate a person, to do things to the annoyance of a person. And this, they're just trying to irritate Mr. Sabally and annoy Mr. Sabally, and of course, annoy UDP and also irritate UDP. That is all they're doing.
His Excellency, I just want to know if you have made peace in terms of attacking, if you have made peace, a swift peace in attacking judges in this capacity. And also I've seen young boys around you. What goes to step in the next move for the party?
So I don't understand the question really. About the young boys.
I mean, the young boys behind you there, what the youth are for?
What would they?
What would that put your task force if there would be any move, extra move by the party?
Well, say whether I have attacked any judge.
No, I mean, many times you condemn people not to criticize judges. Why now you seek to do that?
Yeah. When judges make mistakes, they are human beings. When they make mistakes, yes, I cannot condone anyone criticizing them. But when a judge deliberately abdicates his responsibility, his or her responsibility, in protecting one's individual rights, we have a right to say so, and we'll say so. Because this is a political issue, and we believe that politicians are using the judge, so we'll also deal with it politically. That is what we are doing. As I say, I have enormous respect for all the judges of this country. But that doesn't mean that when a judge behaves in this way, I should keep quiet about it. When judges do things that is that I feel they are wrong, but it has been done properly, in a legitimate way, of course I cannot complain about that. I mean, the presence of these young men here just shows that the young leadership of the United Democratic Party, because they are the youth wing. They are the youth wing of the United Democratic Party. It just shows that the youth leadership of this country are really prepared and they are ready to take their responsibility in the party. That is what it tells.
Thank you so much. My name is Momodou. So, you said this is a scheme employed by the environmental science and the other members of the party. Well, the general reaction is that Barrow is testing the depth of water.
Yes?
He's testing the depth of water. He's clamping down the sand from the political parties. And most people say the opposition is now taking things for granted. They are underestimating Barrow. So are you going to stop at issuing press statement and press conferences? So what next action are you going to take to ensure that somebody doesn't spend or be at the presidential on the 5th of January? Or are you going to be on the streets like the people saw Sunday, or you going to stop at this press conference and press statement?
Without the sanction. So I think that's it. But if Barrow is testing the depth of the seas, well, I have said that, look, injustice is the recipe for instability. When you trample on the liberties of individuals, and then you go, and then it's just as if nothing has happened. That era has gone, and it will never come back. So, if President Barrow is testing the depth of the seas, then I think he should really rethink that it cannot happen, and it will not happen. I am not suggesting anything, but look, you know, you fear a place where you have never been. You know, the Mandingos, you know, you say Wanato. You know, if you've been to Wanato, you don't fear what is in the Wanato. Yeah, I mean, you see, Mr. Sabally is uncomfortable where he is. When Mr. Sabally has experienced detention, I mean, in some years ago. So for him, it's nothing new. It's just that we outside, we are worried. But I know, because I've met him, we've spoken. He's not worried. And he's not worried because he has not committed any offense. That is why he's not worried. All this is a nuisance, but again, I want to say that all of us should together work to ensure that peace prevails in this country. And that will happen if we pay heed to this stanza in our national anthem. Let justice guide our actions towards the common good. Let us do that.
One has a follow-up question.
Second question is, you express your despair with the idea that you are disappointed in the lawyer and so on. But we have seen on numerous occasions when people make certain pronunciations that have been arrested for questioning. What message do you have in Inspector General of the government listeners when it comes to issues like this?
Well, I don't know whether it's a message I want to give him or a reminder. Last week, he was on the State of Affairs, QTV. He gave a very impressive interview. And one of the things he said, which endeared the police to me, is that there is a human rights unit established within the Gambia Police Force to ensure that people's fundamental rights and liberties are not in any way violated. You cannot have such a unit within your institution and then turn around and promote the violation and infringement of the fundamental rights of another citizen. So maybe that statement he made on TV maybe was just a public relations stunt. And I don't think Mr. Sanyang should really be engaging in public relations stunts. I think it should be meaningful that that unit to have any value which is answerable to him directly. That is what he says. The unit is answerable to him directly. That he should ensure that the rights of the government is it. That is the message I want to give him.
Any other question? Jumale lafta ñinin karo kela in Wolof, in Mandinka? It doesn't look like it. Again, thank you very much for your prompt attendance and for your very diligent questions. We have been asking for fundamental law reforms for the last 5 years or so as a political party. And I think it would be clear, like party leader has said, that Jamajin Amchireu Mifi, Nanyani Alamuyo, Yubanya Isi, Vero, and Ajaro. Gambians yep can stay. She is the government together here. The last item on the agenda is the affidavit that is supporting this illegal detention. I'm pleased to share it with all
with the exhibit. With the exhibits. That is transcription.
Oh.
You know, definitely.
So it's two copies. There's one for the transcription and
There's
one
transcription and
That's the transcription.
yeah. Let me arrange them. Let me arrange them. Let me just
we have
arrange.
five copies each. Yes. So we have one.
Okay, one. So the lady who asked a question will have one. Yes. One.
Can you put them together properly? Huh?
So lady who asked a question. Here is a Christmas gift for you, so that your story would be fully complete. Mr. Marwali, you also deserve one. You asked 2 questions. Mr. Dabo has